You are listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast, giving you the latest updates on the international education market. This week, hosts Mariah and Stephen give an update on F-1 and J-1 visa reports. Today's podcast is proudly sponsored by Cambridge Enhanced Marketing partner St. Bernard's Academy. Founded on the north coast of California in 1912, St. Bernard's Academy provides a safe environment to a diverse population of students in which they may develop their minds with an excellent college preparatory education. Reach out to us for more information about this wonderful program. Thanks for listening.
Cambridge Insider Podcast time. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cambridge Insider Podcast. As we record today, the majority of the US, at least in the Northeast, is going through a little bit of a heat wave. I like to remind people that a heat wave is way better than a blizzard. So, although it's hot outside, drink a glass of cold water and you'll be all right. Mariah Thompson, how are things your side of the world?
It's going well. I'm back on the East Coast, so it's sticky here and hot. The humidity is crazy. But things are going good. It's beautiful in upstate New York in the summertime. So
excellent. Another update really quickly from the Cambridge side is that this morning we actually presented our in-country orientation to all of our incoming students. So we had several incoming students online joining us for our in-country orientation, something we've done for numerous years. We used to do it in person, but of course with the pandemic and travel being a little restricted, we've put that online, and it was just an incredible event. We'll be doing day 2 tomorrow, really geared towards just preparing students, preparing families for coming to the US. What schools are about, what they should be doing at the airport, what they shouldn't be doing at the airport, how to travel, what they should be looking at when it comes to the academic side of things, the extracurricular side of things, and ultimately geared towards a positive student experience. So
I know that our host family team also just did their first host orientation as well. So training for the new year. So our host families are also as well getting equipped. So it's good stuff all around.
Exactly. So if you are a partner or a student, you want to know about how do you gear up? How do you prepare? What should you be saying? What shouldn't you be saying? What should you be looking at? Feel free to reach out and we can guide you along as we prepare for another school year. Exciting things happening. Mariah, we've been chatting back and forth this week, you and I, a little bit about sort of where the market is. There's been a lot of chit chat, and we've thrown a couple articles around. Tell us a little bit about what you found, or at least, I know you sent me a lot of stuff, but sort of your experience, your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting time. It's that time of year where we gotta know what's happening around the world, right? So I've been doing a lot of research. Some exciting things. So I've been sending articles and profiles that other experts have been looking into as well. So I've been sharing that with Stephen. So he has some exciting things that he's going to share from the articles I sent. But it's exciting from this post-pandemic life we've been living through in this market. Some exciting stuff heading our way through it, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, great news, right? Something that we've seen these trends come slowly, and now we actually have sort of stats and data to back that up. We often, when we look at incoming students coming to the United States, international education, international travel, we look at CSET, right? The Council on Standards for International Education Travel. Annually, they do bring out a lot of other research, but annually they release a summary of the incoming and the outgoing students from the United States. Specifically, what we look at, from Cambridge's side and being in that international education world, being an international education consulting partner to so many schools in the US, we look at the total number of inbound students. So the total number of students that are coming into the United States. That's really the figure that we want to look at, and we want to just break that down a little bit. So the paper was released. These are stats for the 2021-2022 academic year. So the paper was released in May of 22. So we'll see this trend very likely continue into the next year or so. But this is the latest in terms of numbers of students, coming to the country. So a couple interesting things. And bear in mind that we've just come through the pandemic. So some of these numbers might be a little bit extreme, but bear in mind we've come from a place where international education was really, really static for a couple years. On the J-1 side, so that's short-term programs, students coming into the country have seen an increase of J-1 visa students by 311%. Wonderful news. Again, that's the short-term exchange of students, short-term numbers coming in, a 311% increase from the year prior. On the F1 side, so F1 programs, most of our partners work with us on the F1 side. Those are students coming in on a year-to-year basis, look to graduate high school year. We've seen a 79% increase in the number of students coming year on year for this 2021-2022 season. So those in and of themselves are great numbers. We've been touting that. We've been saying that it's been happening. We get to look at stats and say, yes, it is happening. Mariah, your sort of just initial thoughts on that. I know we've spoken about those numbers a lot, but it's great to sort of get that affirmation that this is indeed, in the writing, and it has happened.
Yeah, I think it's good. We've had some school partners join us in on some of that marketing strategies that we have. So it's good to see that those schools who are partnered with us are going in the right direction on their strategy, because the market is increasing. So the efforts they're putting in already, we'll probably be satisfied because we are seeing an increase. So it's good. It's good news.
Absolutely. And if that is anything to, if those numbers are telling you anything as a partner, as a program, it is you need to start preparing. If you haven't already prepared, if you haven't already set that foundation of, we want an international program, this is what we want it to look like, this is who we want to partner with or re-partner with, this is how we want to work our marketing strategy, now is the time to do so, because that rebound is happening as we speak. And the later you prepare for that rebound, it's likely that you're going to lose out. There is so much competition in the market, more and more programs entering the market. Programs, again, just being so, seeing so much value, both on the economic and financial side, but of course also on the community and diversity side of having international students on campus. You should have started preparing. We've been saying this. If you haven't, don't despair. But, start putting in that framework, that groundwork right now. Two other interesting things that I found for J-1 students. So again, short-term students, Texas hosts the largest number of inbound J-1 students. I don't know if, and I speak under correction, I don't know if that was like this a couple of years ago. That's an interesting one to me. And I think it points to the fact, and again, this is J-1, this is short-term. I think it points to the fact that today in the US, more and more states are becoming part of this world. More and more states are offering products, offering exchanges, offering schools and international programs that are worthy of international students going, hey, I would love to go to Texas. Yeah. I would love to go to, the middle of America, instead of traditionally those sort of coasts that are hogging a lot of that traffic. The other piece of information then is that California continues to be the biggest host of F-1 visa students. So we are seeing California, with so many quality programs, continue to drive traffic for the F-1 students. It's really important for us, and we will be having a conversation about this a little later on, but it's really important for us to remind all of our partners, because we have partners in so many wonderful parts of this country that, again, the traditional sense of we only have students coming to the sort of coasts, to New York and to Boston and then to California, we really are seeing that change. We really are seeing students look for value outside of those coastlines. Although those coastlines still have a lot of traffic, we are seeing students saying, I want to go to Texas. I want to go to, any other place that is able to offer me this value product. Mariah, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll be talking a little bit about value programs in the coming weeks on the pod.
Yeah. We'll have some resources on that as well. But just to add on what he's talking about is that we're just seeing such a trend in America where the diversity is growing, and every city wants to be a part of that. So like he said, we see the coasts have been doing that for a while, but now these major cities, especially if you're talking about Texas, you're seeing Dallas. It's such a diverse city that offers so many opportunities for, doesn't matter what you look like, there's opportunity and growth. And big programs that people can learn so much from. So That's just a trend in America. So it doesn't matter where you really are located anymore, because that's what these major cities are doing. They're putting emphasis on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we have seen that, I think twofold, right? We've seen that happen sort of through this pandemic, that more people, Americans and people that live here permanently have said, I want to maybe look elsewhere, maybe find a cheaper place to live, or find a place that's, it's more suited to my style of living, whether it be warmer weather or colder weather or whatever that might be. Look for a place that might be a little bit cheaper. So we are seeing that. And I think because of that sort of migration that's happened through the pandemic, we're seeing states that maybe previously weren't so aware and weren't so focused on driving an economy saying international education is a great way to add value to this economy. How do I get smart people in here from all over the world to add diversity, to come to our programs, to experience our state, and then in many cases to stay on and work and help out and lend some of that sort of EQ and IQ that we talk about so frequently on this pod? How do we do that? And I think we've seen that in terms of the quality school programs that are offered, in those states that maybe previously didn't offer that.
Yes.
So again, don't despair. I have schools reaching out to me saying, yeah, but I'm located in state X. Nobody's ever going to want to come here. That's no longer the case. And again, look out for that program or that pod episode coming up, where we do talk a little bit about value programs. The final thing that I do just want to add in here is Mariah was kind enough to send me an article from ISEF Monitor, which is really market intelligence for international student recruitment. And we can put this article, I think we can put up on our show notes as well. And it touts a little bit about what's happening in the college scene. And as we've known on this podcast for several years, what happens in the college scene, often is mirrored in what's happening at the F-1 high school area. And we've seen that 65% of US colleges are reporting that they're receiving more and more student applications this year than they did in previous years. Again, I think this is twofold, right? This is the end of the pandemic. This is, or maybe not even twofold, maybe three or fourfold. The end of the pandemic, travel's opening up. In China and in Southeast Asia specifically, visas are easier to come by today than they were a couple of years ago, or a couple of months ago. And we are seeing that trend increase and get better as we go by. So all of this, again, points to the fact that we're going to be seeing more traffic. We're going to be seeing opportunities if you're a school program. If you're a student who's wondering, should I still pursue this? US is open and booming right now when it comes to international students. So reach out and make sure that you get as much information as you can before making that decision on international education.
Yeah. One thing that I saw in the research as well, when it came to college students, specifically if you're targeting China, which is one of our biggest areas that we target, they were saying that research shows that the biggest way to market to those students is through WeChat and a Chinese optimized website, which we have both, and we are excelling in both. So it's just like we're right on the right track. So getting in that strategy is what we're doing. So that was encouraging to see, like, all right, that's what we're doing. We're going to get it in.
Absolutely. I'm raring to go. And if you let me go, I'll just talk about that strategy. But I don't think this pod is I don't think you want to be listening to me for the next 25 minutes talking about that. Exactly. But again, do listen out. We'll be talking in our next episode about value programs, specifically about how can you differentiate yourself and how can you get on the right platforms to meet the right people that are interested in coming to your program. So many of our programs across the country, from East all the way through the West Coast, through the middle of America, South and North, have incredible value programs. Yeah. How do we put that value on a platform so that people listen to it? And that's what our next episode will delve into. As always, we'll put up on our show notes what we can to help guide you through this time. Exciting news, even though there's a heat wave, there's also a lot of heat coming when it comes to the international student scene, and we love to see that. To all of our listeners, remember to drop us a line if you have questions, connect with us. Mariah's going to make sure that all that contact information is up on our show notes. And until next episode, we'll catch you around. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Cambridge Insider Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. For more Cambridge updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Have a great week and stay connected.